Hello and welcome, honored guests. My friends, it is October, and that means the best season, spooky season, is finally in full swing, and Halloween is just around the corner. So, what better time than now to carve some creepy creations? I recently went to the Pumpkin Festival here at the Ludwigsburg Palace in Germany, which is where I've picked out my pumpkins for the past few years. This place is truly beautiful, and even more so in the fall when it's decorated for the season. The festival lasts for about 2 months, during which the palace hosts a competition for the biggest pumpkin of the year, with entries coming from all over Europe. I could easily fit inside one of these, like James and the Giant Peach. They also have various pumpkin-based foods, such as soups, fries that are similar to sweet potato fries, and extremely addictive pumpkin seeds roasted with all different flavors. Bertie Bott's might have some competition, I fear. But the best part of this festival by far, and the reason it draws thousands of people each year, is the themed pumpkin exhibit that covers the grounds. Everywhere you look, there are massive sculptures of different characters and scenes, and each year, the theme is different. The 2025 theme was Hollywood classics and modern blockbusters. So if you are ever in Germany in the fall, I highly recommend a visit. After our stroll through the palace grounds, my friend and I came back to carve our own jack-o'-lanterns. One of the best parts of the season is doing spooky crafts with your best friends. So if you want to see how these turned out, stay tuned to the end of the video. Now, if you don't have any extravagant palaces nearby or live in an area with pumpkin patches, most local grocery store chains will carry pumpkins during the autumn months. However, you want to make sure that you get carving pumpkins, not the ones that you eat, or else they might be too thick and your arms might just fall off trying to carve them. I know a lot of people really enjoy carving funny or cute faces into their pumpkins, but I've always preferred to go with the more ghoulish ones. Now, that is a face only a monster could love. And though it is true that faces are traditional when carving jack o' lanterns, you can really create anything your imagination can think up. Honestly, with the right or wrong mindset and a knife, there's a lot you can do. Today, I will show you how you can create these monstrous little spider pumpkins, perfect for warding off anything that goes bump in the night. For these guys, I went with smaller pumpkins, but you can easily replicate the same style with larger ones. Just be sure to keep the proportions the same to ensure the pumpkin has enough support to stay upright. First things first, we need to trace the areas we want to carve out. I'm starting here with the bottom of the pumpkin. I don't want to take too much because I want this to not be visible when the pumpkin is standing. Feel free to be creative with the face here. So we've traced all the details. Now the fun part. Well, Actually, the best tool for carving precise details in pumpkins is this little guy. You can buy them in a set really cheaply online if you just search for pumpkin carving supplies. I find the best tool for gutting a pumpkin is a metal spoon. Really scraping out the insides will help slow down the coming process of decay. And don't worry too much about the details being perfect right now. Imperfections add to the uniqueness. Time for a quick biology lesson. Unlike other insects who normally have 6 legs, spiders have 8. They are attached to the fused head and chest part of a spider's body called the cephalothorax. In addition to these 8 legs, they also have 2 smaller appendages in the front, used for feeling around and helping them catch their prey. So to make these legs, we want to carve them from the bottom piece we cut out of the pumpkin. After cutting it in half, we will cut each half into 4 pieces. I suggest going as thick as possible at first. We can always shave them down later, but remember they have to support the weight of the pumpkin. Once you have the 8 legs cut out, we can take the 2 thickest pieces and carve 2 skinny feelers for the spider's face. To help keep these legs from curling up when they start to dry, I recommend cutting the tips off. This will also provide more stability for the spider while standing. We are going to reinforce the legs with items most of you already have in your kitchen. For spiders this size, I'll just be using some toothpicks, but for larger ones, you can easily use longer wooden barbecue skewers or even takeout chopsticks. I want to first check the angle of the leg to make sure it will lift the spider up enough. Then I mark those spots on the pumpkin. To make affixing the legs to the pumpkin base easier, simply use one of the toothpicks to create pilot holes where you marked. Grafting the bones that will support our life form is as easy as cutting a few toothpicks in half. I will just poke half of one of the toothpick halves through the flesh of each leg, leaving enough of the other side poking out the top. Pro tip, make sure to slide the toothpick in the leg as close to the rind as possible, since this part is tougher and will hold the toothpick a lot more firmly. He's really starting to come to life. Now that we added the 8 body legs, let's put the 2 feelers on. These will really help animate the pumpkin. I prefer to trim these feelers down a bit so they fit the face better. Don't want them getting bullied by the other spider pumpkins. pause, let's please take a second to discuss safety and how to care for your new creatures. While it is true that glowing faces fit the Halloween aesthetic perfectly, we do want to make sure we don't turn our houses into giant jack o' lanterns. So, if you are going to put a candle inside of your pumpkin, make sure one, it is a small tea light candle, and two, there's enough clearance above the flame. I would recommend in this case at least 6 to 7 inches of space. Due to their size, flames is unfortunately not an option for these little spiders. So I'm opting for simple LED tea light candles that you can buy at a basic crafts or home goods store. And these are great because you can use them all year round to light up your different crafts and projects. To help make your pumpkins last longer, I have heard smearing some Vaseline on the areas where the pumpkin flesh is exposed can help seal in moisture and slow down any mold growth. But remember, they're just pumpkins, so it's okay if your creation only walks among the living for a few days before returning to the underworld. And there you have it. Perfect little spider pumpkins, just in time for All Hallows Eve. I especially love the way that this one turned out. Something about his coloring mixed with the creepy eyes just really works for me. On the other hand, this one is definitely on the cuter side of things, but if that's your style, then it's definitely a fun little project for Halloween. Oh, and before I forget, if you save some of those seeds that you carved out of the pumpkin, you wash them really well, let them dry for about 2 weeks, and then you store them in a cool, dark place, just in a paper bag like this. Come May next year, you can plant this in your garden, and by October, you will have pumpkins. I will say this does tend to work best with heirloom pumpkins, but if you're not quite sure which ones you have, then just consider this a fun trial and error surprise. So if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more curious creations in the future, I cordially invite you to take a little stroll down to the like button below, conveniently, might I add, located next to the comment, subscribe, and share buttons. I plan to upload many more of the intriguing projects that I currently have in the works, from spooky decorating to antique furniture restorations and even a little whimsical baking. There's lots more coming. So stay tuned, happy carving, and I will see you in the next chapter in my Compendium of Creations.